don't think there's anybody there.
I know.
Why? Because we've been live for 45 seconds? Yeah. All right. I got to do my backup real quick. Start capture. Yes. I still hear the feedback. I'm not happy about it. It's not this. Anyway, here we go. Alright, backup's going. Where's that other tweet? I gotta figure out how to do this now. Click on the tweet. Copy. Back out of it. Regular tweet. Is it generic to leave the same one?
No. Just make sure, it has the right episode number and everything.
Well, you tell me. You and your thumbs.
I fucking hate you.
You and your opposable thumbs. Oh, look at me. I'm like an orangutan. That's cool. This is going to be fun.
How about you blow yourself?
Dude, if I could, would I ever leave the house? Oh, that's inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
Do. Alright. Copy link to tweet. Put that in the chat. Little unsteady. I feel like I shouldn't share it again because I didn't,
I just shared it.
You're a sharer.
Well, yeah, you're a bitch.
Well, that's rude. Anyway, hello. Whoever's there, hello. Some peeps. I'm ready. Test. Hello.
Sibilance, the kings of rock.
I thought it was syphilis.
All you motherfuckers can suck my
Okay.
cock.
Okay. Look, bro.
We're on an explicit Twitch channel.
Yeah, but I just... You don't want people there to be like, well, I'm out. All right, here we go. So what else do we need to do in the beginning here? Anything else we're forgetting? No new iTunes stuff. Nothing like that. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yep. I'm ready. F it. Oh, I don't have the bumpers ready. I don't have anything ready. All right.
What a loser.
I think that's kind of rude.
Not rude enough.
All right, cool.
You're a freaking no.
Don't be rude. Okay, I'll put that over here. Oh, you know it's a trip? Look.
Yeah, because it wasn't there when you captured it.
Yeah, it's weird. I still don't understand how that works, but let's move on.
Land premieres Wednesday, April 5th at 10.
Oops. Who?
You.
Who's in the show notes?
You.
Yeah.
I see you in the show notes.
Oh. Oh, you have it on your phone. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? All right.
I have.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good. I'm ready if
on
you
a-
are, except I lost the bumpers.
I think I'm way on a delay because the video for Dreamline just showed.
Well,
Did you accidentally hit play?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then I'm not on that much of a delay. Hey, JT.
What's up, Brosif?
Hola, mi amigo. ¿Cómo está?
Let's not cross languages.
Muy bien.
All right, anything else before we go? Besides your own slider duty again? I closed that whole window of tabs, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, you proud of me?
I am. We'll see how it goes.
I'm twitching a little bit, but I think I have it. Have them all saved somewhere. You know me, dude. Can't be very far without my tabs. Gotta have my tabs. All right. All right. So JT's talking Spanish.
Yeah.
Got my hair done, did.
You got your hair done, did? I got my new glasses.
Looking pretty legit right now, I'm gonna say. I'm afraid this is messing up the headphones.
I agree, JT. He definitely needs some proof.
That's gonna be a noob. I may or may not have them all the way closed. No, they're closed. They're literally closed. I'm trying to get past it.
Literally.
I'm just trying to get past it. You see my laptop. My laptop is half the gigs
I've seen
of
your
RAM
laptop.
of this one. It's brutal. All right. Well, here we are. You ready to go? We have our usual audience. Who's the other one besides JT? Is that Mox?
That was probably me. And you.
I'll give it a second.
Oh no, because you're the usual. No, it's probably me and Matt and me and JT.
It's cool, bro. It's cool, bro.
Cool beans.
Hopefully we won't go 2.5 hours this time.
Well, if you actually start the show, we might.
Welcome to pre-show. Where the dicks are dicks and the jerks are jerky. Is that weird?
Okay, I got to tell a quick story here before we get on.
Are you kidding me?
I was.
No, please. I can't wait.
I hate you so much. No, this week at midnight is all live, right?
Oh, really? They do that?
This is the first week they've ever done it. Well, the funny
I
thing
would
is,
never watch it.
Chris Hardwick just got married this year.
Yep.
Or last year.
Last year.
And he got married into the Hearst family. And so his mother-in-law is Patty Hearst, the one who was kidnapped, developed Stockholm Syndrome, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, she breeds dogs now.
Okay.
Poodles, and she had some at the Westminster Kennel Show, which was on Tuesday or whatever.
Sure.
And so he starts off the show. He's like, I'm married, my new mother-in-law, Patricia, she calls her Patricia. Patricia, raises poodles and, because they were talking about the Westminster Kennel Club show. And she goes, so I sent her a screenshot, or I sent her a picture on Instagram and said, well, I guess you got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
I get it because of the dogs.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
you just said that to Patty frickin' Hearst.
Right? Oh, my God, dude. I still haven't been to Hearst Castle. I'd like to.
Because the
We only lived 30 minutes from there.
I know.
For
Well,
how
you
long?
remember the movie Cocoon?
Yeah.
And where they break into the house and they swim in the pool, and that's where the eggs are being kept?
Sure.
That's the Hearst Castle indoor pool. You're not allowed to swim in the indoor pool now.
Of course not.
But when my dad was 13 years old and he was in the Boy Scouts, they took a trip as the whole den went up to Hearst Castle, and they went swimming in that pool.
That's kind of weird, don't you think?
Well, it was 1945, so
1945?
1945.
Jesus. All right. Should we go?
My
Should
dad
we
was
do
born in 1932.
this? Yeah, no, I got you. All right.
All right.
I think I'm ready.
Bumper?
Yep. Screenshot to prove you closed tabs. Never! I will never disclose a screenshot to prove I closed my tabs. But I did. This time. All right. I'm ready if you are.
Yep.
Blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
A little premature on the fade out, huh, buddy?
Sorry.
You blew it. Hello and welcome to episode. You blew it. Hello and welcome to episode 88 of the Usual Podcast. Podcast we discuss Star Wars, Yoda Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host Marshall. With me, kind of blowing the sliders, bro, is my co-host Will. Say hello, buddy.
Well, at least I didn't screw the intro.
Well, it was a brief. It was your fault.
All right, blame it on me.
Instigated.
Whatever.
Anyway, we're just sitting here enjoying our usual frosty beverages. What you got?
Well, dinner tonight, I enjoyed another one of those Ninkasi Brewing Company's Pilsners, which was yummy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be drinking a Diet Pepsi during the show, but you have put a little glass in front of me with something in it. Why don't you tell the fun folks what it
sometimes
is?
I like doing this to them. I give them a little taste of what I'm drinking, and I'm going to hold up to the camera here. This is Mad River Brewing Company. I've had this before, and it's pretty intense. It's Humboldt Brownie is what they call it. It's a double brown ale. So it's not necessarily a IPA, but it is a very high alcohol content brown ale. And I like brown ales. I just don't drink it very much.
I like brown ales as well. I mean, one of my favorite beers is Newcastle.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan.
We drank a lot of Newcastle back in the day, though.
We did, and I'm not a huge fan of their Caledonian ale, the one that's infused with the Scotch.
Oh no, that one I like.
That one I didn't care for. I did like the werewolf one though. That's kind of an amber brown ale. It's kind of cool.
That one.
I'm a little worried about this one though because it's a Humboldt brownie. Does that mean it's THC infused?
Nope. So cheers.
Because
It's not.
if it is, that's gonna make me sick as a dog all weekend.
Mm-hmm. Well, cheers. It's not the thing you said. Oh, are we doing that?
Cheers, my friend.
Chink.
Since we're actually facing each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nice pointer.
Yes, it was.
What do you think?
It's very similar to Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit you can taste a little bit hoppier to it because
Indeed.
it is Humboldt, but I could probably drink it. It's a mess at 10% though.
Oh, I'm gonna drink it. No, it's not 10.
I thought you said 10.
9%.
9%. Okay.
It's just a 9%. No big deal.
Yeah, so JT saying our sitting arrangement looks great. We have not moved. He's just moved the...
No, so I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so let's intro the show. So before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we are on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am Darth Pops on Twitter. Will can be found at I am Will Griggs. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. So we haven't had any ratings at all in months, so it'd be really cool if we get some somewhere. So
actually, we have no. I'm saying we haven't, but I would like to say thank you again to my brother who is in the chat right now.
I don't want to thank him.
Hey Steve, because he was our very first rating on iTunes.
Indeed, and so it'd be cool if we had
that was
more.
a good 2 years ago.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
You're all right. So yeah, if you see us on the social medias, please give us a like and share us. And we have the timestamps in the show notes, of course. If you're not into SWOTOR, we don't have a ton of SWOTOR this week, but you can jump around. We have pop culture and Star Wars to cover this week as well. And thanks to the chat room. Thanks for the folks that are there. I
Okay,
appreciate
you can
that.
tell this is good. I'm leaning the brown ale to the side, and you can see the foam.
Oh, it's intense.
It's an intense foam. It's great.
So are you good on that? Mm-hmm. I finally give him a beer he likes, everybody. Witnesses, chat room, you're witnessing it.
Just like they're witnessing your lack of tabs tonight.
Look, I am down to like 3 tabs.
I'm very impressed with you.
I actually haven't. I'm a little twitchy, and that's not because we're on Twitch. It's just
you're a little tabby.
I'm like, well, I should check my other tabs, but I'm working through my issues. Thankfully, our community. I put a picture. I was kind of drunk the other night during WOG, or it was after we recorded. Yeah, it was WOG. I think I put a picture of all the tabs I had up on my. Yeah, people thought I had a problem.
Yeah, if you're looking at the tabs and you can't even see more than one letter to know what the tab is,
yeah,
that's a problem.
I know what they are. And I think that's a problem. But
that's a whole nother issue.
But what's kind of cool is that people were supporting me. They were like, you know what? It's going to be okay, buddy. You know?
We're going to have to get you to Tabaholics Anonymous.
But I did name the last episode Too Many Tabs.
You did.
It came up a couple times.
Because usually...
It's to break my addiction.
For 2 years, you kind of were sending me, suggestions on show titles, and you've actually become more confident. They're good titles, and I didn't see it this week until my phone started downloading it. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yep, too many tabs. All right, man. So Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Absolutely.
I don't know where the bumpers.
Where are your bumpers? Oh wait.
Yeah, you have a job.
You want to fight? I'm ready.
You do not have to stand against me. Instead, I will share all of this with you if you will only kneel.
So speaking of fading out, because you seem to get into the fader here, you give me also a weird look. But what I'm saying is, I actually built a fade out into all the bumpers. FYI.
Yeah, well, your fade outs are dumb though.
Anyway, we have some.
Mine are real. They're in the moment.
Ugh. All right. At the top of the community shoutouts, I want to thank our awesome friends in our community, JT and Mox in particular. They've been really helping us out as far as
getting through our twitches.
Yeah, giving us
our Twitch glitches,
our Twitch glitches. Trying to help us out with some of the streaming parts of it. Right?
Yes, and
also want to thank Kid Lee as well for trying to help me out. And I'll get to that in a minute. As far as
and thanks for
streaming.
Sharing our stream too.
No, absolutely,
posting it.
So thanks for doing that, but. Really, what I want to say is JT and Mox have some really good suggestions for us, and one of the main ones was the way we had our cameras.
Yes.
On the live stream, we were, I guess, looking away from each other.
Well, it wasn't the cameras; it was the way that you had the placement that you had them in the Twitch.
Right.
So, I was looking away from you. I was constantly looking at whatever we were promoting that week.
Oh, I see.
Like if you hadn't changed it, I'd be looking directly at Archer right now.
I get it. Okay,
but now I'm looking at you.
It's adorable. So thanks for that, and I really do appreciate that. Let's talk about our contest too.
Absolutely. Hashtag SWTOR Superhero.
And we got some really cool entries.
We did. They're really fun.
Yeah. So keep those coming. We will be tweeting that as well. And again, we just want to see your Star Wars: The Old Republic characters dressed up as your favorite fandom. So anything from the Hulk to freaking Santa Claus to, I don't know, Doctor Who. What else have we got? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, all that kind of stuff.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So. What were you pointing at?
Smurf. If you could do a Smurf.
Dude, I did Musco Smurf.
You did, but
you weren't feeling it?
No, I was saying Kid Lee messaged you on Twitch.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. So make sure we have till the end of the month. So 2 more weeks.
You guys need to stream to a channel. What does that mean?
I do not know. But we've got 2 more weeks in our contest, and all you need to do is either email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter and hashtag SWTOR Superhero.
Well, hopefully Kid Lee can help me out with that because I have no idea what he's talking about. All right, let's move on. Maybe we're not doing something right. Are we blowing it again?
We might not be doing it right, but we're definitely having a fun.
Oh, dude. If we're not having a fun,
we're doing it wrong.
Don't get me started. Okay, so hashtag SWTOR Superhero. We got that covered. What else? Oh, so there's another contest running very similarly. SWTORista. Is it SWTORista? Let me open this. I'm pretty sure it's SWTORista. So Brian from Bad Feeling Podcast texted me, and yeah, it's SWTORista. She's doing a contest on her website, and I have a link in the show notes. I love all the community stuff, and she's looking for people to dress up their SWTOR tunes as members of Star Wars Rebels.
That's cool. So does she specifically just want the Ghost Crew, or?
Yeah, I'm not. Honestly,
because honestly, I would actually restart an agent character from level 1 and create an Agent Kallus character.
Yeah, it says the each main character once, so you can submit for a total of 5 entries. So Ezra, Sabine, Kanan, Hera, and Zeb.
I want to do Agent Kallus.
Well, because of the mutton chops, dude. But
I know, right?
There's some epic chops.
He's got some epic mutton chops.
All right, man. So also we have something else in the community I thought was cool because we have that crazy CXP event going on right now.
I know, so much CXP.
And I'm sure this helps some of the people who are already on their way. But Mox put a tweet out, and I have a link in the show notes to take a guess, since we're talking about contests, take a guess at what's in his 300th command crate. He's already hit it, and I don't think he's opened it yet.
Yeah, well, I remember he did the same thing with his 200th, correct?
Right. And this is on the guild website, so he says up to 5 entries per player. You must name exactly what's in the crate. General items like command, gifts, pets, speeders, and rep items. That's all you need to say. Armor weapon shells, you must state the type. So whether it's going to be a belt or a sniper rifle, etc.
Okay. Yeah.
So all the details are here in the show notes. It's pretty darn cool. So I would definitely get into that. I mean, look, if you've been opening as many crates as we have lately, you could probably guess pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be down to like 5 different possibilities.
Exactly. So best of luck on all those contests, and
Yes.
definitely enter ours. Because
seriously, if you're going to enter one, enter them all.
Did you talk about the prizes in ours?
I did not.
Oh.
I just mentioned how to enter.
Yeah, so the prizes in ours, we have a Smuggler's Bounty crate. A Smuggler's Bounty, what do you call it? I guess a crate. Smuggler's Bounty
it's a
box.
crate, yeah.
Bounty box. Socks from Pippi's Long Stockings. We have some awesome Star Wars socks. Also, we have 450 cartel coins, 30-day sub time. So, as of right now, everybody's winning a prize. So definitely enter.
Yeah, definitely.
So here we are. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
What'd you do in game this week, buddy boy?
I actually didn't spend a lot of time in game, but I decided to like kind of go back to my roots. My very first main that I ever did back in beta, the one that I had to get rid of at the beginning, was a bounty hunter. So I was like, okay, well, my main now is a sniper rifle, a sniper. But I just decided, you know what? I want to play a bounty hunter for a while. So I've got my bounty hunter at 70 already, but he was kind of stuck in the middle of chapter 10 of Coffee.
Yeah.
So I just went back and I played about an hour a couple days ago until the power went out at school.
Yeah, that happened.
And, well, not the power, the internet went out at school. Because, yes, I do play it on my work computer.
You're lucky.
Well, I have the nice benefit that I actually work in a computer lab that has decent stuff. Plus, it has a great connection. And I have downtime off the clock. So that's the important part. But so it's kind of cool. So I was playing that. And I got to recruit Eric Jorgen, and then the Wi-Fi went out.
Nice.
But it's cool. It's kind of nice to kind of do it as a different character, because once I was trying to make sure, as you heard a couple weeks ago, I was talking about how I'm trying to get all my companions to 1,000 kills. When I went through with my sniper storyline, there's a couple of characters I didn't recruit.
No.
So I need to go back through and make sure I recruit them.
By the way, how are you feeling about the Command XP boost stuff going on? Or you were leveling mostly though?
No, I was already leveled up.
Yeah.
So I was at 70. So I was able to get, I think, 1 command level.
Okay.
But because it was and I hadn't actually finished the chapter yet.
Oh, gotcha.
But I was just getting command XP from killing like elites and stuff like that.
I gotcha.
So I'm sure it will give me a big bump, because this will be my first time through chapter 11.
Yeah.
So that'll be a huge CXP boost.
Cool, man. I want to talk about WoG really quickly. We did, what did we do? KP?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we did KP. I want to say it was me and JT were tanking. Hopefully,
were you actually able to tank it correctly,
that.
not get butt lava on everybody?
No, it was fine. He actually did the last boss, so
oh, nice.
No pressure on me. It was a pretty smooth run. We were on Imp side. I gained a couple levels. It's kind of nice getting the CXP so quickly, which I thought was kind of nice.
I still remember the first time we ran KP as WoG.
Oh God!
And you didn't know how to
well, look,
kite him. Yeah, you didn't know how to kite him around the area.
I was moving him too far. Is
Yeah,
what I was doing.
and so we were just getting fire on everybody.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, remember my connection was so bad that I died and I got respawned, and I respawned underneath the platform.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
And I kept seeing the bottom side of the drills waiting to go up, and it's like I couldn't tell people where they were, but I couldn't do anything about them.
Yeah, that was funny. So what I tried to do though, while I was experimenting a little bit, because we do this now, we've been streaming this,
right?
Our show, and it seems to be pretty stable.
It's now our 4th episode.
Yeah. So what I thought I would do is I would stream WoG, right?
Right.
And so when I went live, Kid Lee jumped in. He was like, "Oh, you're popping in and out. It was bad." And I did the same thing we do here. I plugged into the deal and turned off the Wi-Fi, but it kept dropping in and out. And
did you have a lot of tabs open?
Yes, I did, but I don't think that was the problem. But I want to work on it. I would like to start streaming at least WoG nights. So I'm
Well,
hoping
that'd be fun.
hoping maybe to coordinate with Kidley again and Redna and have him help me out a little bit, just so I can get it stable.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And again, another thanks to everybody in the community because it's rather helpful.
And people aren't like, oh my God, you're blowing it. Your stream sucks. It's like they're like, oh, maybe I can help you.
Exactly.
So it's been pretty cool. So hopefully I can get that going for, well, I guess that's tomorrow.
Thanks to JT for saying Tab Boss is real.
Oh, you're lucky I like you. Anyway.
Yeah, Marshall definitely does not have the mechanics for that boss down yet.
Wow. Well, you're not wrong, but you're still a jerk. Okay. So that was a little bit of a fail on my part. I tried it several times. On our Twitch stream, I left a couple of them up, but really I took down most of them that were just kind of intermittent.
Right.
But I'd like to get that going. And so I love the CXP games. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm at 4 set pieces right now.
Nice.
At 230, I believe. Yeah, 230. I got 4 set pieces, so that's kind of cool. So I feel like I'm kind of where I was when the patch went. So I'm waiting to get to that next tier, which will be a little bit, but I'll get there. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, I have faith in you, buddy.
I haven't played that much though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this last week, but vacation starts now.
Oh yeah,
So
no,
I'm
we're
gonna
off
play-
work. This is our last night.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing a little bit this week.
Indeed. All right, so dev tracker stuff. Remember last week I talked about how people want to be able to turn off.
Yeah, you were
the
saying
CXP.
Utinicast, Tio.
Well, Tio has always said that. He hasn't been playing that much, but this is mostly people like Tio, as I was saying,
Right.
who want to be able to turn off the CXP or turn off the XP bonuses. So
Are these the same people that don't engage sprint
I'm not sure. Honestly.
and don't get on their speeder until level 10?
Yeah, maybe they're just RP walking everywhere, and that's fine, but I don't know. I don't got that kind of time. But I respect them, and, if they want to level the natural way, then...
Well, I mean, that's
by all
the
means.
great thing about these games is that there's no wrong way to play it.
Exactly. So what they did in the past was they put an item on a vendor for people to take that down. So here's what Musco said. He says, okay, so I can confirm that in 5.1.2 on the 28th of this month, we'll be reintroducing the vendor which sells the white acute module. It will work slightly different than the last time in that instead of only suppressing bonus story XP, it will also suppress XP earned up to 2.5 times to cancel out the event bonus. Also, we'll be working to bake into the event so that in the future, anytime we want to run a bonus to XP, the vendor and module will be available as soon as possible.
Okay, cool.
So that's pretty cool. And
it just shows that they're thinking long term finally about certain things.
exactly, which I mean that's important for people. So we did have maintenance this week. It was just back end stuff, and we also had a follow up to this other post we talked about last week, which was somebody asking a question. Okay, so here's the question. It says, I was able to level about 40 command levels this weekend. And personally, I thought that the speed I was gaining levels was just about perfect, and he was using the boost. And he says, I know, maybe it's a she, I don't know. I'm just going to keep saying he. And I know that they say they're still working on the CG drops, so that I'm going to leave that part out of this. However, what is going to happen in 5.2 hits? Currently, the patch notes that 250% boost is only going until 5.2. So are we going to completely lose that boost and go back to grinding the old way is essentially the question.
Right.
Right, which is a valid question.
Very valid.
And so Eric says, good question. In short, when the event ends in 5.2, we're going to also readjust the CXP rates at that time. The intent is to buff CXP above what it was prior. How high we buff it remains to be seen, but our intent is definitely that you get a crate faster than you did prior to that.
Right.
So I think that's important. So they're going to keep monitoring stuff, dude. You know, they're
yeah, well, I mean,
they're
that's the
pretty good
thing
at that.
is like, it's always a constant shift because, you don't know how people are going to play it until they play it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, and the only other thing, actually, you know what? There was one thing that popped up. I better pull this up. Ooh, crap. Wrong window. Sorry, guys. I'll pull this up in a second. All right. The other thing that came up was there was an error. I guess some people were getting unspecified error, which is the worst kind of error.
Yes, because it's unspecified.
It's unspecified. And it says, please try this patch again. So I think when people were patching after the last downtime, they were getting this error. And the workaround, they say, and if you're listening to this, by the time I put it out, you've already got the workaround going. But it says restart your launcher and clear up the issue. It may require multiple restarts or delete the Bitrater folder from your SWTOR directory. So it might be something that's related to Bitrater, which is something we talked about, forever ago.
Yeah, I haven't had. I mean, I have SWTOR on 3 of my computers, and I haven't had it.
You haven't had that problem. Yeah, totally. All right. So the last thing here in news, before I ask you one question, is so I guess something's going on in Zakuul. I guess we'll just call this. Can we just call this our discussion topic? Because I think this is actually pretty interesting.
Yes.
This popped up a few hours ago, actually, and it says, "How can I get a dev's attention to stop the cheating on Zakuul?"
There's cheating on Zakuul?
Well, Zakuul is one of those places you can get the high-end crafting mats.
Okay.
Right? So what do you think the problem is?
Farming?
Yeah. So this says, this guy's pretty desperate. He says, the cheating on Zakuul in gathering areas is ridiculously bad. People, parentheses, gold sellers, have figured out how to play and move outside the environment. So I guess they're using some weird exploits. They're moving around the environment itself. I don't know. Either way, what's happening is people are picking up the mats faster than the actual players can pick them up.
Oh, wow.
Which is
interesting.
bad. Yeah. So Eric basically says, first and most importantly, we're actively looking into the reports of what's happening in Zakuul. And he says, just as a reminder, because one of the parts of this post was, how do I report this? How do I get BioWare's attention?
Right.
And even though nothing happens when you submit a bug ticket and saying someone's doing that, it does get forwarded on to right people. So definitely keep doing that. Or if you need to PM him or Tate, it still says Tate. I guess he's still there right now until the end of the month. PM him or Tate about the issue. So,
right. That's that's. I hate gold farmers.
But don't you love cheating? Isn't cheating great? Isn't it the best?
It's
the only way to play, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, hey, Kate beat her time, 29. Nice. All right.
Nice.
So, anything else with SWTOR, dude? I feel like it's a short segment, but not much news.
No, it's a short week, and neither one of us really played much this week. So, yeah, let's move on to Star Wars.
I feel like we're gonna lose people. Should we just do some circus SWTOR stuff? I'm joking.
Okay, if we don't move on to Star Wars, I'm twerking.
So Star Wars, everyone, here we go. Is that your threat now? Is that your resident threat?
Yes, it is.
It's like, if you don't move on, we're gonna freaking twerk. That's a little much, don't you think?
I could always do the truffle shuffle.
Goonie style.
Nobody wants to see that.
It'd be funny though. All right, let's move on.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
Well done this time, dude. I think you got the slider boss down.
Word. and I'd like to recognize that JT realizes that Will's twerking threat is real.
It's the next boss we got to conquer, right?
I'm gonna be right next to the eyeless
and the tab boss. All right, so here we are in the Star Wars section. So, dude, I thought honestly didn't think we'd have a lot, but we have a lot.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, not, it's fine. So remember, how many months ago did we talk about the petition for? And I put this at the top of the show because we just finished SWTOR. How many months ago did we talk about that petition?
It was about 3 or 4.
Yeah. So that petition
to make this is a petition that was on change.org to get the
Star Wars Old Republic.
Yeah, no, just get the Old Republic time period pulled into canon.
And more specifically to get on a Netflix.
Yes.
140,000 signatures.
Nice, huh?
It's pretty significant.
It is significant.
I don't think anybody's paying attention and or cares.
Course not.
But that's a lot of people that want this to happen. So if all those people watched, it wouldn't be enough to get a show going, but you never know.
Yeah, right? I mean, how many monthly subscribers does SWTOR have?
I don't know, dude.
They're less than 1 million now, right?
Yeah, let's say give or take.
But I mean, still to get even 15% of your active base to that's pretty significant.
Did you put this in here?
What?
The Harrison Ford thing?
I did.
Okay, because I did, and then I took it out. Let's
Why?
talk about it. I don't know why. I just thought it was one of those things. I don't know if we want to talk about it or not.
Okay.
I'm down to talk about it.
Okay, well, as you know, during the filming of The Force Awakens,
Yep.
Harrison Ford crashed his World War II era plane in Santa Monica, right? Well, this week he was flying into, I think it was Long Beach Airport.
Yeah, I'll bring this up. I think it's that.
Yeah, he was flying into Long Beach Airport, and he got clearance and everything. And then when he was landing, he realized he was landing.
John Wayne Airport.
John Wayne, which is,
That's Orange County.
yeah, Santa Ana.
Yeah.
So, but when he was landing, he realized that he was basically landing on a 737, like right on top of it.
Like on top of it.
And he was like, what's going on here? So it turns out Harrison Ford accidentally decided to land on a taxiway and not a runway.
Yeah.
Is
Is he too old to fly?
Is this where we're getting time where it's almost time to say, sorry, Grandpa, you can't, we have to take away your license?
Okay, so here's the thing. What's funny about this, and I'm glad you kept this in here because this makes me laugh. And we all know at some point you take the driver's license away from your great grandparents or your
Right.
grandparents, you know, right? But this idea that Harrison Ford is old as it is, right?
Right.
And so when you take the pilot's license from him, I mean, it feels like it should be earlier than the driver's license, right? I mean, right? He's flying a plane through the air.
He is, but what he's flying
He's
is,
already crashed one.
it's such a small plane that it would probably be fewer people that he would hurt than it driving.
That's a good point. I don't know, man. I'm glad nobody was hurt in this.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
No, it was just the fact that, I mean, luckily there's nobody on the taxiway.
right. It's actually funny. There was some moment where he kind of said, "Did you mean for me to be underneath that plane or something like
Yeah.
that?" And they're like, "Dude, you're the one who landed on the taxiway."
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was pretty funny. Harrison Ford. I just want him to stay on the ground. Kinda.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I mean?
It's
And
funny.
have someone drive for him.
Well, it's funny because the movies that he's in that has to do with planes,
Yeah.
that never works out well for the plane. I mean, do we need to bring up how Air Force One ended up in Air Force One?
Oh, Air Force One. That's a good pull. Dude.
The plane in
yeah.
6 days, 7 nights.
Yeah. All right. Harrison Ford, come on. Stay with us.
We want you around.
Indeed. I have some Celebration Orlando news.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it has been confirmed as of yesterday or today, I think, that The Last Jedi, all the filmmakers are confirmed for Celebration
Right,
Orlando.
so which is meaning Ryan Johnson,
Right.
you know, the...
I don't know if we have a list in here, but
no, I mean, it would be
main dudes.
awesome if they had John Williams, because I don't think he's been to a celebration since it was in Germany, maybe, a few years ago.
it says the primary panel for Last Jedi will feature Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy,
Makes sense.
writer and director Ryan Johnson,
Perfect.
and that's on Friday the 14th. And while those are only the confirmed guests, the Star Wars show host Andy Gutierrez says, if you've ever been to a Star Wars Celebration panel, you can bank on there being plenty of surprises, special guests, and unforgettable moments,
Well, it's
which
gonna-
means other people will probably show
Yeah,
up.
it's going to be the cast. It's going to be the big three.
Indeed.
Plus the two of the big three of the original. Plus, I'm guessing they're going to be bringing... I mean, we'll get to this in a minute, but I'm guessing they're going to be bringing Jimmy V.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so,
we'll get to that.
because that's going to be... they're going to be introducing him to a wide audience, so...
Well, and that's literally our next story is all the Last Jedi news of the last week. So we have Jimmy V, who's been officially announced as the new R2-D2 actor.
Yeah, because Kenny Baker's just getting old.
Yeah. And I don't know Jimmy V. Do you know him?
I don't... He looked kind of familiar, but
Yeah.
I don't know what he's from.
Yeah.
I can look it up really quick.
Yeah, but he's I can open the article too, but he was talking from what I gather he was talking to Kenny Baker. I guess Kenny Baker got ill last year at some point.
Yeah.
And couldn't do R2-D2, so Jimmy V I think filled in for him. And yeah, so he's going to be the next one.
Jimmy's V has been in Doctor Who. He was in the very poorly received musical Pan.
Oh, I remember Pan?
Yeah,
remember
so
that.
those are the two big ones that he's been
Okay.
with.
And he says it's been an absolute pleasure to have worked alongside the legendary Kenny Baker. Kenny was a fantastic actor and taught me all the tricks on how he brought R2-D2 to life, which I'll continue to portray in his honor.
Right, because he was basically his understudy during Force Awakens. He was
Yeah.
involved,
Right.
but now he's taking over.
But
the
now
mantle.
he's taking over. Yeah.
It's pretty much. I mean, I really don't know how involved Peter Mayhew is going to be with this one.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I'm sure by the time we get to 9, it's going to be really hard for Mayhew to get out of a wheelchair. So I'm sure it's going to be kind of like that way, where there's an understudy to him that's going to be helping him out.
Right. All right, man. So what else do we have here? Force Awakens confirms Rey and... Okay, so I didn't even say that right. Lucasfilm confirms Rey and Kylo Ren have a mysterious connection. This article says nothing except for the fact there is something connected with the two of them.
Yeah, their connection is at the hips.
Okay. So can we actually talk about this, or are you just going to be that guy?
Yeah, and sorry, I'd like to point out, thanks to Kid Lee, I completely spaced it, that Kenny Baker actually passed away in August.
Yeah, that's why he was talking about it in the past tense. Yeah,
right.
He's dead.
Thanks, Kid Lee.
We talked about him dying.
I know we did. I just spaced. It's this damn humble brownie.
I'll tell you what.
It's pretty tasty.
Yeah. And on top of that, the way I edit this, I probably never even know we talked about that.
I know, right?
Thanks, Kid Lee.
But no, I was just...
You'll be in the blooper reel with us.
Yeah, no, I was just joking around with the hips thing. But no, I mean, you could obviously tell that they were building it up in Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. Whether it was... I mean, it didn't look like it was in the script, but you could tell that they had to have told John Boyega and Daisy Ridley something, because the way they played off each other was definitely that there was going to... Either it was going to be a brother-sister...
Boyega, you're thinking the wrong person. Rey and Kylo Ren is what I'm talking about.
Oh, them. Sorry, I was thinking Finn.
Yeah, not Finn. Rey and Kylo Ren.
Okay, that's not at the hips.
Back to this?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's obviously there's going to be a connection.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that this article says is that one of the things Lucasfilm talks about is the fact that finishing the Skywalker story, right?
Right.
So in some way, shape, or form, obviously, we've talked about this many, many times. Obviously, Kylo Ren is connected to the Skywalkers.
Yeah, he's a Skywalker.
Because he is a Skywalker. And we don't know yet about Rey, but, you know.
I'm still leaning towards her being a Kenobi.
No, I'm thinking she's not. I don't know, man. We can do this all day.
I think Ben got busy with a Tusken Raider.
Wow. Are you trying to say Rey is half Tusken Raider?
She's going to pull out a Banffy
But
stick.
if you read the Kenobi novel, Tusken Raiders are like people, but like that went through this weird thing where they just put bandages on themselves and stuff.
Yeah, no, I always thought they were like a humanoid.
They're
form
regular people,
yeah.
Sort of, but like, I don't know. It's a trip, dude. It's a trip. Read that novel.
It's on my list.
Well, a lot of things are on your list. So this talks about the mystery of Rey's lineage. Yeah, I see it. But I don't know. I was kind of thinking there would be more to this, but mysterious connection. I mean, I don't know. It's all the same stuff. Speculation.
Speaking of mysterious connections, the latest this, and we don't have this in the show notes at all, but the latest Snoke rumor that I've been seeing the last few months is Mace Windu.
No, that
I know that's been around for a while.
Yeah, that's come up.
It's like it seems like it's gaining traction for some reason.
I think that's one of the more far-fetched.
No,
ones.
though actually the newest one I've seen, I can't remember. It wasn't Star Wars Theory, which is a popular YouTube theory cast, but the newest one is if you've read the Aftermath books, there's a general that takes control of the Empire, and a lot of people think it's him.
Okay. JT says she's a clone and born on Jakku in the secret lab.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. When he said that, I'm getting used to my new glasses, so I looked at the sign. It was blurry, and I thought it said second tab, not secret lab.
Stop talking about tabs. I'm having withdrawals already.
Sorry.
All right. So what do you got here about Iger?
Iger has come out and said that he's seen a early cut of the print of
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Obviously, they're just early in post production. So John Williams just started the score, so there's no music to it. There's hardly any rendering of CGI in it and everything. But he says he's seen the principal photography cut, and with the, I'm sure there's not much Foley work in it, but he said it's fantastic.
Wow, cool. Han Solo stuff. I like this story. I'm really happy about this. Both you and I have watched Westworld.
Yes.
And do you know what actress it is?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Tandy Newton.
Yeah.
I think she was kind of underutilized in Mission Impossible 2, but I think she is a very good actress, and she really, really knocked it out of the park with Westworld.
It says, she killed it in that show. She was by far one of my favorites.
Oh, absolutely.
Newton's character is still unknown, obviously. British actress. And so, I mean, we could speculate a little bit, but who do you want it to be? Just say it.
Oh, I would love her to be Santa Solo.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's...
I honestly think she might be a little too old to play
Yeah,
Santa.
and in that article, it makes the point of saying the 44-year-old British actress. And if we're going back to young Han Solo...
He's got to be in his 20s.
Right.
When we meet him, he's, I think, 32.
Right. The one thing that was intriguing, and I am well behind on the Star Wars comics, but the one thing that I thought was interesting about Santa Solo is that I don't know what her lineage is, if she's 100% human.
Yeah,
she could be. She could be part something else, which would make her looking older make sense. I don't know. I mean, in the comics, she looks black, which makes sense to me.
I think her character, portrayal of Santa Solo would be awesome.
Yeah.
As long as they can, I mean, honestly, she still looks fantastic. And if you've seen Westworld, you've seen all of her looking fantastic. But
yeah, what he's trying to say is she gets naked. Everybody gets naked in Westworld.
Oh, everybody gets naked in Westworld. Even Anthony Hopkins, which was a shocker to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. I was like, did I miss an episode? Moving on.
Oh, fun stuff.
Rebels.
Yes. Rebels.
Oh, so you and I are up on Rebels.
Yes.
And I don't want to give away the spoilers, really, but we talked about this.
We talked about the Darksaber.
The Darksaber last week. What was cool that came out after we recorded was that Freddie Prinze Jr. and I think it's Taya Sircar, they recorded that scene at the end of that episode where they're fighting and talking.
And these are the actors who play Kanan and Sabine.
Yeah. They filmed that privately.
Which is awesome.
Recorded that privately. Which I think is really... That scene got me, honestly.
That was a good scene.
That scene was really good and really well acted. And I think when they do stuff like that, and I already knew they did stuff like that because Freddie Prinze Jr. is interviewed on other podcasts and stuff, and he says sometimes they'll do things privately, and I think that really helps with the I guess gravitas or whatever, the emotional impact of these scenes, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, well, I mean, it especially makes sense to do those types of scenes when there's a reveal to other characters in the show.
Yeah.
So when you get to their readings, they're like, oh, you actually get response.
Yeah, totally. All right, man. So let's get to some parks news and then get to our usual fun stuff.
Fun stuff?
Well, I mean, all of this is fun.
Right.
But parks news. We have a potential opening date for Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Mission Breakout?
Mission Breakout. And something about Summer of Heroes. Have you heard about any of this?
I have not, but they always do like a Summer of whatever, right? And
right.
This one, it sounds like Summer of Heroes, which I mean, it means they're going to be embracing their Marvel.
Right. It says the new ride themed around Collector's Fortress and breaking free of it alongside Rocket Raccoon can finally be judged by fans directly when it opens for business May 27th, 2017. That means when I go in the summer this year, I'm hitting that up.
Yeah, which means it's probably going to have a soft release of probably a week before.
Yeah, we're going in June, late June.
Right. Well, because it says May 27th. That's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. I mean, because you're not going to open a brand new on a Memorial Day weekend.
No.
They're probably going to be doing a soft release the week before. I mean, Steve, if you're listening, you could probably speak a little bit more to this because you're more of the Disneyland expert than I am. But
he's a better man than you are.
Oh, that's a given.
Just kidding, dude.
Like that even needed to be brought up. That had already been brung. But yeah, no, seriously, Steve is the Disneyland expert.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, and so and he's actually been to quite a few soft openings. So
cool.
He would.
I would love to be able to do that. So one of the things it says is the new adventure blasts you straight into the Guardians of the Galaxy story for the first time ever, alongside characters from blockbuster films. And this is from the press release. As you help Rocket burst his pals out of the Collector's Fortress, you'll experience randomized ride experiences complete with all new visual and audio effects from the music inspired by the popular film soundtracks. And you never know which adventure we'll get, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know that whole premise started with Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
For sure.
That I think it had 4,000 different
I think it was like
configurations.
42,000 or something. It was crazy.
It was ridiculous.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
And then that carried over into Star Tours when they redid
Star Tours. Cars Land is the same way.
Yeah.
Or,
the Cars Land one is the what is that ride called?
Racers.
Ridge Racers or something?
Radiator Springs Racers.
Yeah, nice. See? And when you listen to this regularly, all of that weird, what's it called?
It's cut out.
That'll be all gone. So in addition, the Disneyland parks will launch Summer of Heroes that day through September 10th. And that is offering several Marvel-themed attractions and events similar to how they've been done, Star Wars Weekend, Season of the Force, etc. Which last time we were there was Season of the Force.
Season of the Force,
cool.
right, yeah.
For their Lucasfilm brands, some of the features will be new year-round attractions, including Groot joining the Disney cast alongside existing characters Captain America and Spider-Man.
Which means you'll be seeing them around the park.
Yep. While others are only for the summer, and some of our heroes will launch these new year-round experiences. So Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Dance-Off. What? That's
awesome.
That's awesome. So don't be surprised. So I'm just going to read from this. Don't be surprised if you run into the Guardians of the Galaxy on their way to the Milano with Star-Lord firing up his old-school boombox to get the party started. Gamora may prefer to stand back and observe, but everyone else is bound to get in the groove and show off their moves during this awesome rock and roll bash. And then you also have superhero encounters. So for the first time, citizens of Earth will come face-to-face with Groot, one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. You can also step up to meet the first Avenger, Captain America, along with everyone's favorite web singer, Spider-Man, which is, all of this is new. They didn't have these guys wandering around the parks before.
No. What I would love to see would be to see Captain America over in California Adventure.
Yeah.
In the old time Hollywood area and see him like on a red car.
Yeah, it'd be badass.
That would be so in character. It'd be awesome.
Let's see. And for a limited time, step up to challenge, it says, with new adventures during Summer of Heroes. Avengers Training Initiative. So Black Widow and Hawkeye assemble young recruits for a series of tests.
Very similar to Jedi Academy.
Yeah, to see if they can join the ranks of the Avengers. Heroic encounter with Black Widow. She'll arrive on the scene several times throughout the day in an armored Avengers vehicle, which is badass.
That's cool.
And grab a piece or bite of the action. It says, all that heroes are making you hungry. Of course, there's food. Special themed merchandise and food will be available in Hollywoodland. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, so they are going to be over in California Adventure. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense considering that's where the ride's opening too. So.
Okay, how awesome would it be to have... you know how when they do the fireworks for Disneyland and you see Tinkerbell go back and forth? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if they were doing some sort of show over in California Adventure and you saw a wired Spider-Man going from like Tower of Terror over to the Hyperion Theater, I think is the one it's called?
I'd probably lose it.
I know, right? Oh my God, that sounds so much fun.
Just move it on. All right, man. So merchandise.
Merchandise, yeah. So, well, you were talking about Force Friday.
I'm sorry. Yes, I was talking about Force Friday too. So last year they did this.
Yeah, at the beginning of September, it was pre-fourth quarter, but it was to release all the stuff coming up to Force Awakens. So It was like, it was just after they had started the release of all the books for Journey of the Force Awakens.
Right. And they're doing the same thing.
Which makes sense.
Starting September 1st. And the first look at it, so people have been analyzing this. Excuse me. In the link I have in the show notes, there's the top of a box, basically, where like a toy would go.
Right.
But really it's got Finn, Poe, and Rey.
Okay. And
people are analyzing their quote-unquote new outfits. So you can barely see any of it. Right. But the idea is that Poe's got the helmet on. Finn looks about the same, but Rey actually looked quite different.
Her hair looks darker.
Her hair looks different. It's darker a little bit, and it looks like she's got some sort of robe ensemble maybe going on.
Well, Jedi robes.
Well, yeah, hopefully. So this is pretty cool, man. So they're gearing up for that, and we're gonna get a whole slew of toys and stuff again for, I guess, Force Friday 2.
Absolutely fantastic.
Which is cool.
The other merchandise news we have here is, Hasbro loves their Black Series.
Indeed.
But also this year marks the 40th anniversary of the original Star Wars. And so they've come out with a Star Wars 40th Anniversary Black Series. And
Nice.
it's very cool. I will be posting all these pictures to Facebook.
Oh, it's sick.
But
yeah.
there's a really cool one of...
I did see this Luke one.
Yeah, of Luke in his Rogue Squadron outfit.
Yeah.
Wielding a lightsaber, which is cool. There's a Star Wars Monopoly game, but it's themed on the old original poster. You've got
these are sick.
Yeah, you've got all the Black Series of Obi-Wan, Darth Vader. Well, what I love is look at the Darth Vader one, and look at his lightsaber.
Oh, nice.
They've actually done it so you can actually see it in motion.
It's like in motion.
Cool.
That's sick. Yeah, that's gonna be cool, man. I haven't invested too much in the Black Series.
They're just so expensive.
Well, behind me I have a few of them. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but I've got a few of them up there, and I got them as gifts when they first started coming out and stuff. But I don't actively go and try to buy them.
Yeah, we're not collectors.
They're $25, $30 a pop.
Yeah,
I did want that Jabba one though, back in the day.
That would have been cool.
Anyway, anything else Star Wars that you can think of that we're missing?
No, I think it's time to hit the hyperspace and get into a different universe.
I like that you said that, but here we are.
I can't imagine any kind of future where I'm a hero.
Well, you're not.
In the future, none of you are heroes. You're legends.
Well, as always, we got a ton of stuff.
Yeah, actually, not as much as we normally do, but this is still pretty good, and I'm sure we're going off on a couple of tangents. But we're now into our usual roundup.
I'm trying. Am I trying to tangent less, or am I trying to tangent more forcefully? See, because that's coming off of Star Wars. You see what I did there?
Very nice.
A little punny.
You're very punny.
You're not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it.
Okay. So I added a new section.
I know books. I love books.
I added books, and this is a shameless plug for us. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about is not released yet.
Right.
But if you like audiobooks, see where I'm going with this? audibletrial.com/usual podcast. No, we usually do this at the end. But honestly, when we do talk about books, if you want audiobooks, use our link, and that's the way to get it for free. But Jessica Jones star Kristen Ritter is releasing her first novel.
Oh, awesome. I actually didn't know she wrote. I didn't know she wrote.
I think, well, I didn't either. But it's kind of cool. I'm trying to think. The genre is... all they say is it's called Bonfire, and it's a dark and mysterious crime thriller.
Oh, awesome.
The synopsis is, Bonfire will focus on small-town corruption as environmental lawyer Abby Williams returns to her hometown after 10 years to investigate Optimal Plastics, a local company of dumping chemicals in local water. But in the process, Abby starts digging into the years-old disappearance of a former high school bully of hers, which in turn leads her to even darker secrets about the town.
Okay, you know what this kind of reminds me of? A cross between Jessica Jones, John Grisham, and...
Stranger Things?
No.
That's at the
Aaron Brockovich.
Oh, okay, cool. I can't wait for Jessica Jones to come back, but the book sounds cool. That's not usually my genre of reading, but if you're into that stuff...
That's like in my second or third tier of genres, but I'll definitely give it a try.
Yeah, cool. Next one on my list, to be on a random side note, we're already tangenting, is Trevor Noah's book. Because I've got a few, credits on Audible, and I need to pick that up.
Yeah, I actually I have an ebook version of it, and I just need to read it.
Nice. All right, so Final Fantasy has announced their first original manga novel, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much about it. It's a 30th anniversary, so they're putting out. Why not just put it out 30 years later, right?
Right.
We have a link in the show notes for that. That's pretty cool. I don't read a lot of manga stuff, but I might pick that one up just because it's Final Fantasy and I love Final Fantasy.
Cool. So I kind of want to go back to Trevor Noah really quick.
Do you?
Just because I think...
What if I don't?
Well, screw you.
Okay, continue.
Just because I think it's important because what the premise of the book is. Yeah, he's a comedian. And yeah, he's on The Daily Show right now. But his book is actually called Born a Crime because he is a mixed race child born during South Africa apartheid. So really, his birth was a crime.
Like literally, he should It's almost like Ender's Game when you have a third child.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know?
Or like during the one-child policy in China when you have birth to a second girl. You know, it's like,
Indeed.
yeah. So, when second boy. So it's, it's thought-provoking. So I definitely want to give that a read this summer.
No, I'm going to read it this week. I've got, my credits are building up. I got to catch up. And I'm caught up on podcast too, which is kind of cool. So
Cool.
Let's get to TV, dude.
Yeah, it looks like The Big Bang Theory is going to be closing in on season 11 and 12 renewals.
I have no doubt this is going to be a thing.
Well, the reason why it was kind of becoming a hitch was because the three main stars, Johnny Galecki, Kaylee Cuoco, and Jim Parsons, they got a raise a couple seasons ago, and they're all making $1 million an episode now.
Are they up to $1 million?
Yeah, so those three at $1 million, and the rest of the cast, I think the other two main guys are about 700,000, whatever.
Yeah,
and then I think the girls are like 450 or 5 because they came in later in the series.
Oh my God!
But you got to remember, this isn't the heyday of NBC,
right? When
you could give Kelsey Grammer $2.1 million, you could give the entire cast of Friends $1 million.
Yeah. The Friends is what's in the forefront of my mind.
Yeah, even with 2.5 Men, where at the very end, Charlie Sheen was making like $2.5 million per episode.
I just don't.
You don't have that advertiser-based funding anymore because of everything going to a streaming service.
Right.
So the fact that they're already paying these people this time, and granted, it took them 10 years to get to it, just like, Friends, they finally got their $1 million paydays per episode. I want to say season 8. Yeah, it sounds like your mic went out. So I'll just keep talking here. But yeah, so it doesn't quite, because you think, $1 million an episode. Well, the thing is, this isn't like you're doing a limited run series of 6 to 9 episodes, and so it's $6 to $9 million. They're doing full 22 to 24 season episodes, or season 22 to 24 episode seasons. So you're talking to $24 million, and that's just their salary. I'm sure they all have producer credits now too, so that's another cut that they're getting. And that's each. So it's quite a bit of money that they're bringing in right now. Plus, they're well into syndication, so they get a back-end cut of that too. So, all four of them, great. If they can negotiate those deals, all the best for them. But that's what I think was going to make it hard for them to do any more seasons, especially since they're going to be branching out and doing the spinoff of Sheldon's character as a younger boy. And Parsons is definitely getting a big chunk of that producing credit.
So what you're saying is they're killing it.
They're killing it.
Sorry, I had a mic difficulty there. Hopefully this one doesn't go out. But yeah, man, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around the $1 million an episode thing. Like, for me, that's like, all right, how long does it take them to film an episode? A week?
Usually about 8 to 10 days.
Yeah, okay. So let's say 2 weeks. $1 million for 2 weeks of work? I will never get that in all the time that I work. You know what I'm saying? So I get what
it's not just that.
I know what you're saying.
Because they have press junkets and all that stuff. But still, it's an exorbitant amount of money.
No, I get it. It's a lot of money. It's like if we're having the same conversation with sports stars, stuff like that. But
honestly, I think sports stars is a little bit differently because they're under constant threat of career-ending injuries.
That's a good point, too.
You're not going to see Kaylee Cuoco trip over the couch in the living room and
I don't know, man.
All of a sudden her career's over.
Harrison Ford.
That's in his own damn plane. But
no, that was in the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, that absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with like a 6-month shoot as opposed to weekly things, it is a little bit different.
I'm only playing devil's advocate because I think it's just so much money.
No, absolutely. You know what I compare TV show salaries to is pharmaceuticals, right? The fact that it takes like a nickel to make a pill, but it took like $10 million to make the first
develop the pill.
Yeah.
To figure out how to make the damn thing.
It's the second to the millionth pill that costs that much. It's the first pill that costs all the money.
Yeah, I got you.
It's the same way. They were making far less money for the first 8 years of the show. They're getting all their money back end.
Yeah, I hear you. This is why we go long in this section.
Oh, yeah, because I can definitely go off and
really talk for like 10 minutes about this one thing.
And have to cover your, glitches.
Oh, look, dude, I'm sorry. Don't you start with me. All right, so real quick, Stranger Things 2. So what do we want to talk about here? Because there's some details about a new team member.
Yeah, basically there's three things we should talk about. First, we kind of mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but it looks like Deborah's actually not going to be in season 2, which I find really interesting because she's the friend of the older sister that disappeared.
Right. No, Barbara.
Oh, is that Barbara is not going to be?
But we've already talked about it. Barbara's not coming back, but she's going to influence the show in some way.
Right. But this one is a brand new team member.
Yeah.
And by team member, do they mean team of the kids or team of the government or?
I read the same thing, and I'm like, well, does that mean how many? And the person they're talking about doesn't look like a kid to me.
Right. Yeah. I really don't know.
So.
And then the other important thing is they talked to the creators, the two guys, and they said that in their minds the show's probably going to run out in 4 to 5 seasons.
So they're going to watch.
That's what they have their storyline going.
So these kids are what, middle school? They're going to basically watch them get to like early high school and then call it a.
Yeah, well, the first season took place in 84.
Right.
Or 83. We're in 84 with season 2 because they're playing off Ghostbusters.
Right.
I'm guessing that they're just going to run through the 80s.
The reason I'm saying that is because when you have kid actors, they grow up at such weird.
But when you're purposely pulling that age too, you can play off of that very much like how like Freaks and Geeks did.
No, and yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I think their whole premise is designed around the fact that the 80s nostalgia.
Yeah.
That if they tried to their storyline, if they tried to go into the 90s at all, would kind of just lose that.
Well, and I'm with you. And I love that it takes place in the 80s, but I like the idea of them following them through their awkward years and dealing with that. I think that's cool.
Right.
So I love the show, and I'm glad that you finally watched it.
Yeah, and I found it very entertaining. I'm actually more excited for season 2 than probably season 1, just because I don't think they delved enough into it. I thought it dragged a little bit overall conspiracy story-wise.
Yeah.
Without enough of a payoff on certain things. Whereas Westworld was very incredibly well paced. Every single episode led you to a new breadcrumb.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess that's the major difference between the two. I don't. We watched Stranger Things right in the beginning of the hype of it, and I really enjoyed it. But
I think this is also
Westworld I like a lot better.
Yeah, well, I think this is also a thing where the ills of binging.
Yeah,
is because I binged Stranger Things all in one day.
Right.
So it was like I didn't feel the anticipation for a next episode. Where with Westworld, I was like constantly waiting for Sunday night to get here for a new episode.
And I think we watched Westworld in little bursts.
Yeah,
like we watched like the first 2, and then we watched a couple more, and then 3, and then, totally. All right, man. So speaking of HBO, nice, right?
Nice segue.
They're partnering with the WWE for an Andre the Giant documentary.
Yeah, and honestly,
I'm excited about this only because that was my era of wrestling.
With Andre the Giant, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter, all the racist characters.
Oh my god! Junkyard Dog,
the British Bulldogs.
Who are we forgetting? Macho Man Randy Savage,
Hulk, stuff like that. But actually, and unfortunately, we just lost Jimmy Superfly Snuka recently.
Right.
Just because The Rock is still heavily involved and stuff, but Andre the Giant is such a unique character.
Yep.
You have the Big Show and Undertaker later, but he was larger than life.
Yeah.
And not only that, but he was actually able. He was fantastic in Princess Bride.
He was. I remember that.
Yeah. So that's great. They're actually also doing a movie about Paige, who is one of the WWE women, and that's actually being done by The Rock is producing that.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't know if he's going to star in it, but he's going to be producing it.
Nice, dude. I love documentaries. I love documentaries. I watch documentaries pretty much every night. Random documentaries. I just put one on and dive down a rabbit hole. And,
yep.
And I would love to see this happen, so I'm excited about that. So I'm only going to briefly talk about this. Star Trek Discovery, which we've talked about, is coming, the TV show.
Yes.
They have a really cool look for the Klingons.
Oh, really? Actually, I totally missed this article, but now that it's in our show notes, I will be posting these to iTunes or to
Pinterest.
iTunes.
Yeah,
Pinterest.
so check this out. So
Oh, wow.
So what's kind of interesting about this is, the Klingons have the ridges on their forehead,
The ridges
right?
on the forehead, right.
And most Klingons in all the other iterations of Star Trek had the hair that kind of flowed out from here and back.
Right.
And from this picture, it looks like they are hairless. And they've got, or they haven't added the hair yet, but the spines go all the way back.
Yeah, they've got a spine ridge going through the top of the head. Plus, their outfit is fantastic.
Oh, those are sick. Yeah.
It actually kind of reminds me of a cross between Klingons and Sleazaks. If you remember the Sleazaks from Land of the Lost.
Oh, well, that's a good pull, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah, that's kind of what they kind of remind me of. Of course, we're only seeing them from the back there.
Yeah.
So you can't tell if they have lizard eyes.
And also, we're not 100% sure when this shot's taken either.
Of course.
So,
yeah.
But I mean, I like the attention to detail, and I think that's badass.
Yeah,
So-
anytime you can get makeup and costume design to look at detail, it's fantastic.
Well, and that's a mark of the times too. When they have a bigger budget and they can kind of do that stuff, I think that's important. So, Orphan Black, real quick, premiere date.
Yeah, their upcoming season 5 is their last season.
Did they say that?
Well, it says final season.
Oh, I'm not happy about that.
So their final season premiere date
news
is
for me.
going to be
Saturday, June 10th. I'm just sad.
I'm actually still.
That's my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, I actually am stuck in season 3. I'm a season and a half behind.
Stuck as in.
No, I just honestly, it's just gone off my radar, so I need to go back to it.
Nope. This is going to be a solo show from here on out. We are no longer talking to Will because he is not up on Orphan Black.
Okay, I will just say everyone has to watch Orphan Black because Tati Maslany is one of the most gifted actresses on TV.
Yeah,
nowadays.
no, for real though. I give Will crap because he's not done with it, but the wife and I have watched them all, and if you have not watched Orphan Black, oh boy, are you missing out.
Yeah,
check it out.
The main star is Tatiana Maslany, and she was actually the runner-up to Felicity Jones to play the Jyn Erso character.
Yeah, and we've seen her last couple years at Comic-Con, and she's just such a cool person, but at the same time, the acting that she's able to do is ridiculous. Thanks, dear.
Yeah,
you want to say hi to the people? Okay, bye. That was my wife, everyone.
Yeah, not the Orphan Black panel this last year because she wasn't there, but the Orphan Black panel 2 years ago at
Before
Comic-Con.
that, yeah.
The first one at Petco Park was fantastic. She was there, and the entire cast was fantastic.
Indeed. All right, man. Let's get to movies. I saw this. What the hell?
A lot of people don't realize Jack Nicholson had actually retired from acting.
Well, makes sense. He's like 1,000.
He is like 1,000, but he hadn't done a movie since 2010, I think was his last film. But there's actually a brand new movie that came out in Germany. It's a German film that came out this year called Toni Erdmann. And it's actually up for best foreign film this year at the Oscars.
Right.
And it's basically about this old guy that, like, it's weird. He's like playing.
I heard the premise. I don't get it, dude.
No, it's really odd. But he loved the movie so much they're doing an American version, and it's going to be him with Kristen Wiig playing his daughter,
which is awesome. But the premise of it, I heard on a podcast or something. It's just so random. Like it
is fairly random, but evident. I mean, I have the movie. I have Toni Erdmann on my computer, so I need to watch it before the Oscars. Mm-hmm. But everyone's saying it is hysterically good and funny.
Good. Well, I would love to see him back on the screen. I love Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Jack Nicholson's great.
Yeah. I only threw this in here because this goes back to all the conversations we've had about Dragon Ball Z and anime and we just talked about manga earlier.
Right.
I think this is important. Sailor Moon is. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Sailor Moon is going to do a live action musical, and it's going to come straight to DVD. Now, if you're not familiar with Sailor Moon, holy crap. Are you leaving because of Sailor Moon? So I'm going to talk about Sailor Moon for a minute. I was not a big Sailor Moon fan. I did watch a little bit of it, but there's a lot going on there that needs to be addressed, but also ignored.
Okay, I will tell you the only thing that I know about Sailor Moon is that I guess Sailor Moon has got the boom that makes you feel the wrong thing.
Indeed. So let me tell you.
Because of Bare Naked Ladies. That's the only thing I know.
So I'm with you. Sailor Moon. Crazy.
Is it crazy?
There's a lot.
Is it inappropriate but not?
Inappropriate always, but but never at the same time.
That's awesome.
The weird thing about anime, man, is you almost never know what age people are. So it's like you get these girls on screen and they're all filled out, but you have no idea, how old they are and what's going on.
Exactly.
And they're supposed to be playing high schoolers, but they look like they're
until the tentacles come out from underneath their skirts.
Indeed. So
actually, and
can we leave it at that? Because it's
no, because I'm actually going to bring this back to SWTOR really quick. There's because there's that one character on Nar Shaddaa when you run into the girl and you have to go find her brother. The girl's like supposed to be like 10 or 11 years old, and she's got the same body as like Kaleo.
Indeed.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on in this game?
Well, we're going to lose our audience, so let's move on to past Sailor Moon, because most people don't even know what the hell we're talking about, which is great. Link in the show notes. Follow down the rabbit hole. Good. Production begins on Jurassic World sequel.
Yeah, we talked a few weeks ago about the pre-production starting, and the director had posted that video to Instagram and Twitter of where like the Jurassic World construction helmet was flying through the air, and the Velociraptor was going after it.
Right.
So that was great, but it's cool that they're really getting onto it now. And they were basically waiting until all of the Guardians of the Galaxy junket was done because they need Chris Pratt.
Otherwise you don't have Pratt.
Exactly.
So Lego Batman, and the reason I put this story in, the story I don't really care about. Excuse me. So Lego Batman director says the ending will affect Lego Movie 2.
Yeah, well, basically they're building their own universe,
which
everybody wants. I mean, everybody's doing it.
I don't want people to be mad at me. I saw the Lego Batman movie a couple days ago.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet, so don't spoil anything.
I'm not gonna spoil anything. I saw it on Sunday, and I don't want to talk smack about it either. And it was fine.
Right.
I love movies. I don't come away from a movie being like, oh, that was crap. I very rarely ever do that. The movie was fine, and I'm gonna leave it at that till you see it probably. But is it weird that I don't remember what the ending was? And I don't know how that's going to link to Lego Movie 2.
Okay, that is a little weird.
It's weird, but when you see it, you tell me.
Yeah, the thing that I found interesting about the way that they were clarifying how the universe is going to all be connected is that it's the multiverse, basically, the world within the Lego verse that we're seeing, right? Like where Batman talks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That is what's connected, not necessarily the people putting them together, although that may be connected as well.
Okay. All right. Well, let's leave it at that.
All
you
right.
see the movie, then we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see it this week. So.
All right. So I would never and people are going to be mad because we just talked about Sailor Moon. The only reason that this story is here is because of the issue that I'm having.
Okay, well, I'm going to follow up with it after it. So
are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the headline is 50 Shades Darker, stay with me, dominates Lego Movie and John Wick 2 in Thursday box office. Okay? So apparently this movie, okay, beat a highly anticipated Lego Movie.
Yes.
And John Wick 2.
Yes.
It wins.
No.
It didn't win.
No.
Oh, good.
It won Thursday.
But it didn't win the weekend?
Did not win the weekend.
Oh, thank God.
It finished second to Lego Batman by a good chunk of change.
Second?
John Wick was third, which I kind of saw because John Wick is very cultish.
Yeah,
in its following, right? Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's like people expecting Blade Runner 2069 or whatever it is that's coming out to make like $400 million at box office. It's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, it'll probably get close to 2, but it's such a specific audience it's tailored to, very similar to John Wick 2.
For sure.
Okay. But Lego Batman, the reason why I totally understand that 50 Shades Darker would have beat it on a Thursday night is because Thursday night you're only having 8 p.m. and later shows, whereas Lego Batman is a ton of kids.
I got
that
you.
You're not going to get on a Thursday night or even a Friday day. You're going to get them on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Well, I'm glad because every time I see the preview for that movie, I was like, what the hell am I looking at? It's like, oh, that's why.
No, every time I see anything about 50 Shades of Grey, the whole series, it's that it started off as Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah.
E.L. Gray, who wrote the book, I think it's E.L. Gray, wrote the books. She started off as basically like BDSM Twilight fan fiction, and then just changed the names and sold the rights and sold the books.
Crazy. Well, that's the most I ever want to talk about anything 50 Shades.
I know, right?
Are we good?
We're good.
All right, man. Let's move on. Predator is going to start filming.
Yeah, we have a couple of release dates here. And Shane Black, who's doing Predator. Shane Black is probably most well known because he did Iron Man 3. Mm-hmm. Did a great job doing
I like
that.
movie.
And so he's doing the new Predator reboot.
Yeah.
And they're going to be starting filming, and it looks like it's going to be coming out.
Well, it looks like the filming. Oh, let me find it. We start filming February 24th.
Cool.
Yeah, February 24th.
So next week.
I don't think they have a release date for the film yet.
I think it's early 2018, but I'm not positive.
Cool.
And then we actually just got a finalized release date for the new Halloween sequel. Which
I
actually
can't watch those movies, dude.
This is a sequel to the reboot. But they actually brought in good writers. So I'm hesitantly optimistic for this, especially since John Carpenter is actually on board with it. He's actually excited about it, and it looks like he will be directing it.
Right.
And John Carpenter directed the original one.
Right.
And not only did he direct the original one, but he wrote the music for it.
No way.
So if you remember the music from Halloween,
No, I don't. I didn't watch it.
It's
can't watch
iconic.
those movies.
Well, it's iconic. And he did a really good job doing that. Well, he actually said he's so on board with this project that he wants to do the music too.
Nice. JT's saying things.
No, JT, we're going to take a little side break here, and so probably get cut. But JT, tell us about the internal focus group showing of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, what they have to say.
We'll come back to you. Okay, so here we go. Trailers. Oh, it's a trailer time.
It is trailer time, and we've got basically 4 trailers to watch.
I'm just going to call this episode trailer time.
Trailer time.
That's misleading, kind of.
But Marshall and I have one of our favorite shows ever.
Can we end with that?
Yeah, we'll end with that one. Okay. So we're going to skip that one. We talked about Ghost in the Shell a couple weeks ago when we showed the first trailer with Scarlett Johansson doing that famous backward swan drive.
Right.
Which looks fantastic, but they have a new trailer, and we are just about to watch that in just a moment.
Trailer time. I think it's kind of trailer time. Except the problem is... Oh, no. We're good. Is that the right spot?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Good. Here we go.
I have been watching you. You have to remember.
I saw someone down there. He wasn't human.
He's a known terrorist, and he's killed again.
They didn't just kill them. They hacked into their minds.
He's everywhere and nowhere.
I will find him. And I will kill him.
You never talk about your past.
I don't remember much. Just fragments. There was an attack. You were dying. We saved you. And now you save others.
Everything they told you was a lie. You had a family. Remember that.
What are you?
What a beauty you are.
What do you want from me?
They did not save your life. They stole it.
How many were there before me?
She was supposed to have a clean brain. I order you to terminate.
They created me, but they cannot control me.
Okay, so I think if that is successful, I feel like taking awesome anime and turning it into awesome movies is going to be more commonplace. It's going to be badass, dude.
Well, the hard thing about it is that, you know, sometimes the technology can't live up to being able to do what you can see in anime.
Right.
For instance, what I thought was fantastic was when they're doing the mind hacking, and then that character pops up on its legs and scurries backwards.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that was creepy.
And super gross.
Totally.
Wait, did I say gross?
Gross. All right, so the next one we're going to watch is called The House, and this is
God,
the,
no, I don't want to click it.
And this is the new movie with Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig, I believe.
All right. What's the visuals look like? Okay. Let's find out.
Oh God, no, I don't want to click it. I'm not going to click it. Why don't you click it?
If they say no to you, I say we say no to them. If they don't want my baby, they're stupid.
When I became a dad, I made a choice to support my daughter's dreams.
You don't have enough money.
It says right here we have $401,000.
Jackpot.
You missed it.
That says you have a 401k account. Alex thinks we can afford tuition and we can't.
We gotta lie. That's what parents do. Because otherwise the kids are gonna realize that we don't know what we're doing.
Welcome. I have a way for you guys to make 4 years tuition in 1 month. Underground Casino. The math seems to check out.
Do this math. You're 40 years old and you go to jail for 20 years. How old are you when you get out?
90.
No.
100.
Honey.
If I have some scratch paper, I can figure it out.
You want to make money like Vegas? You gotta look like Vegas. We've got a nail salon, massages. You're never gonna believe what's in this next room.
Is it a strip club? What's up with that kid?
That kid's 11. He's a fantastic DJ. Drop that beat! Amazing!
All right, Mama live!
So damn amazing!
Your mother and I will be working late every night.
I just can't help but feel like you're lying.
We love you so much. We're so proud of you. But you need to shut up.
What did you just say?
It's so hard being a parent. There's something fishy going on with those three.
We're gonna bet on our friends fighting? We're a casino. You ever heard of Fight Night?
Martha and Laura are pretty good in there.
They both take the same MMA class at the Y. Oh, she adored her.
I don't know why I love this so much! To my brothers and sisters. Are those women's sunglasses?
No, they're Italian.
I feel like a badass bitch.
I'm not gonna tell my daughter she can't go to college, so we resorted to a life of crime.
Amazing! Amazing!
Guys, we've got a problem. Cheating! We gotta send a message, like De Niro in Casino.
You think you can cheat us?
What are you guys gonna do about it anyway?
Oh, I'm so scared.
I'm gonna do this.
No, I'm gonna do this.
Hey.
Don't play around with come on!
God.
Tell your friends if they mess with us, this is what they're gonna get.
He's like, whoop.
I love that. That looked so funny, and I had Nick Kroll from the league too.
Yeah, I'm in, dude. That's awesome.
And we're going to touch base really quick with JT. He said that Disney does the internal focus group showing for all their movies since Iron Man, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is the first one to get a 10 out of 10.
Right? Makes sense to me.
That's awesome. Thanks for that info, JT.
What is this? Do we want to watch this?
This is the last trailer that I put in here, and this one's called Beguiled, and it's with Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman and one other person. I'm drawing a blank.
Nicole Kidman still acting?
Yeah.
Joking. Sort of. Only half joking.
Girls, we all need to help. Quickly, he's losing blood.
I pray that the Lord see fit to restore the health of the wounded soldier.
We ask for your protection over our school, and we pray that we will be kept from harm throughout the night. Amen. Seems like the soldier being here is having an effect.
If you could have anything in the world, what would it be?
To be taken far away from here.
We can show him some real Southern hospitality. Carvin McBurney's stay here has taught us all a very important lesson. Can I get you anything? The enemy is not what we believe.
Did they chain that dude up or something?
To me, it's almost looking like
kind of like Misery.
Misery, yes.
What?
It's like Misery meets Cold Mountain.
It's like Misery with hella chicks instead of just one.
I know, right?
All right, let's get to the good one, dude.
Yeah. So now, Marshall and I have one of our favorite shows is Archer, and if you're not watching Archer from episode 1,
well, not only you're not having the fun, but you're.
So what do we do?
You're definitely blowing it.
So, here we go. You're welcome.
So what are we doing? Are we just jumping right into this?
Son of a bitch!
This spring,
Archer. Gasp.
just say noir.
Who wants their ass beat first?
I trust you know who I am?
The biggest mobster in LA.
Archer, come to think of it, where were you last night?
Ask your wife. Hey, pal, you got a second? Skaroo.
Mr. Archer, I would like to hire you to murder me.
Damn! Where the hell did you get that? That could have been inside somebody.
Well, it is now.
Ow. Ow!
So I heard about a male prostitute who got syphilis. Yeah, business kinda dropped off.
New season.
Okay, you are just terrifying.
New era.
Looks like she's having a rough night.
Her? What about me?
New network.
Damn it! I insist you let me share your marijuana cigarette!
Move, dick. Slang for detective, so not an insult.
Archer Dreamland premieres Wednesday, April 5th at 10. Coming to FX Wednesday, April 5th at 10.
I tell you. So, what do you? I mean, are they going to time travel? Or are they just picking eras now?
No, actually, I know exactly what's happening.
Oh, good. Tell me.
Well, spoilers, but if you watch the end of last season, Archer got shot.
Yeah.
Remember? And he went into the pool. Well, that's where it stopped. That's where the cliffhanger was. In this cliffhanger, he's in a coma, and he's imagining all this in his head.
Oh, badass. I love it.
Because, they're based in L.A. now with their detective agency, so he basically takes that premise and just puts him back in the 1940s film noir era.
Sweet.
Which is fantastic, but and that's the reason why you see Barry there.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait, he's not there. Oh, it's going to be great, man.
Yeah, no, I love it, and it's only a couple more months, or next month. Is it March?
Things are happening,
I can't wait. Well, usually we used to come out in January, so I'm like, what the hell?
Right. Now we're back to, what, March?
March or
comes out?
something?
Yeah,
I don't know.
like that. All right, so you have some one-shot stuff in here.
Yeah, well, Free Comic Book Day is coming up May 6th, so be sure to go and see your local comic book shops. But Marvel has come out. The first thing that they announced was that they're going to be doing a free comic book for the all-new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
But the big one is that the next big event in Marvel is going to be Secret Empire. And, the newest Captain America run has been dealing with... however it happens, how Steve Rogers is actually a member of Hydra.
Right, which I have all the comics, haven't read them.
Yeah, well, in the latest cover, it actually shows the Captain America outfit ripped, and he's wearing a Hydra outfit underneath.
Oh, that's badass.
Which looks pretty darn cool. But the first issue they're going to be doing for Comic Book Day is going to be the first issue of Secret Empire,
Nice.
which kind of is the beginning, culmination of that and beginning of the next big event.
Cool, man.
So those are the two big ones coming out for Marvel, and we'll get more news on what other things like what Image and DC and all the other ones, Boom, and all the other big ones are doing.
We'll get all that stuff. So what I did this week, which was different, is I added Netflix to our Universal Usual, which we're going to get to here in a second. And since we were just doing trailers, I decided to throw a couple teasers at the top of this. One is one of my favorite shows ever.
Yes.
And that's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And it's a quick little teaser, but I don't know if anybody watched this show.
If you haven't, it's flipping hilarious.
It's on Netflix. It's wonderful. So we'll just watch a quick little deal of this and move on.
I don't care. I don't care. Kimberly, use your key. I'm eliminated. I'm not fooling with you, Michael. Back up, I ain't playing with you, meatball. Michael, I'm not playing with you, meatball. Well, for truck, Titus.
It's a miracle. They alive, damn it.
None of that would make any sense if you haven't watched it.
No, the whole premise of the show is that Kimmy Schmidt is a woman who had been kidnapped and she lived in an underground bunker held by John Hamm for, what was it, like 14 years or something?
Good chunk, yeah.
And they finally get out, and so she's like, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
They're called the Mole Women.
The Mole Women. So this other thing I have in here has to do with, oops, that's not going to work. Bill Nye has a, what do you want to do?
Scroll down, because you're off the...
I can't scroll down. Because I captured the screen up too high.
Oh, right.
Well, let's just figure this out.
How about we just not show it and we just say Bill Nye is coming back to Netflix.
So he's got a... So Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm actually a fan of his.
I love him.
He's on with...
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson all the time. Awesome dude. He has a show. It's a talk show on that's coming to Netflix, and that's gonna be badass. We have a link in the show notes for that.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
And if you're a big Bill Nye fan, you have to go to the YouTube channel for Epic Rap Battles of History, because back in, I think, season 3, they had a Bill Nye versus Isaac Newton with Weird Al Yankovic doing Isaac Newton.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
All right. The last thing on Netflix. This blew my mind, dude. Have you heard about this yet?
I just did, and Steve, you better listen up.
All right, so it looks like Warren Ellis, who is obviously a comic book fame,
very famous.
He is going to bring Castlevania, an animated series, to Netflix.
Yeah, Castlevania is a great.
I love Castlevania, dude.
And actually, I loved Castlevania, but I also loved. Was it Ghouls and Goblins?
Yeah,
where you had the
Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. I don't know.
Where the damn knight kept losing his suit of armor.
When you get hit, you lose your armor.
Which is hilarious. But no, Castlevania was fantastic. Yeah. Where you whipped the bats and the candelabras and everything. This is fantastic. So, yeah, I loved Castlevania.
And I can't wait to hear more about this. But that's pretty much all we have right now is that it's going to be animated. It's coming to Netflix, which is going to be badass. Let's get to DCEU, dude. We have some. Let's start with this.
Yeah, there's a new show coming out, and it's not going to be part of Berlantiverse, but it's been optioned from DC. It's a DC. What's the Vertigo comic called Scalped, and it's about a Native American.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's been optioned by the WGN, which is out of Chicago, and they're most recently famous because they did Salem and a couple other things.
Nice.
But they've cast Lily Gladstone in it, and she's an up-and-coming actress, and it does look pretty darn interesting.
Sweet. We also have... I don't know about this, dude, because there's a whole bunch of drama around this right now. I don't know if you've heard.
Well, there's a whole bunch of drama going around Suicide Squad 2, very much like Deadpool 2.
Yeah. So the main thing right now is who's going to direct it.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a short list. We've also got a juggernaut on the list.
Wow, really?
And the juggernaut on the list is Mel Gibson.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So Mel Gibson is the most controversial name on the list. So him aside, we also have...
I mean, well, really quick, he's definitely gotten a lot of cred back because he's nominated for an Oscar for Hacksaw Ridge.
Sure.
But he's still living down the whole sugar tits thing.
Yeah. So we have... so according to Variety, Warner Brothers is considering Ruben Fleischer from Zombieland.
Good choice.
Daniel Espinosa from Safe House. Jonathan Levine from Warm Bodies.
Oh, good choice.
And Warner Brothers has either had meetings with these directors or is planning to meet them in the near future. And the chosen director will replace David Ayer, who will instead be directing Harley Quinn, which is a spinoff of that Gotham series, right? So
the Gotham City Sirens.
Right. So what's crazy, though, about all this is that Mel Gibson is still in the loop here, okay? And he's controversial for obviously a myriad of reasons, but it says he's recently attempted to clear his name because of Hacksaw Ridge, while adding his name to the project would create an interesting partnership and make the sequel even more unique. doing so would easily create a division among fans in the previous film. So
yeah, well, I think that they are.
If the film had done better, I think they'd be able to get away with that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what they're basically trying to do is they're trying to go to bring in a really. I mean, as much as what you can say about Mel Gibson, he's a talented director. But very similar to what Marvel did when they brought in Kenneth Branagh to do Thor.
Right.
Okay. Somebody you would not think to do superhero film until they brought a different sensibility to it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good. Now, having said that, my choice would be the guy who did Zombieland. And the main reason is, one, Zombieland is fantastic.
Yeah.
But two, just the way it was filmed with the words coming up on screen and everything. And I know it's not an uncommon thing, but just his style is already in sync with what you're
the style would work for.
Exactly.
The film.
There would be very little change you would have to do.
I like that. So moving past that to more controversy in the DCEU, we have the Batman. Okay. Now, the biggest story around this right now is that there is a heavy rumor out that Ben Affleck doesn't even want to be the Batman anymore.
It is a heavy cowl to wear. I mean, I will say that.
Yeah. Well said, sir.
Thank you. He's already dropped off from being the director.
Yeah.
They're already said they're redoing the script, whether he's involved or not, but they're basically scrapping the one that he wrote with Jeff Johns.
So if they're scrapping it, he could probably bow out, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, and actually I didn't put this in there, but Joe Mangione, who has been cast in to play Deathstroke, is saying that he might leave and not be Deathstroke and actually go over to The Rock's Rampage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So there's a whole bunch up in the air going with the Batman.
Do you almost kind of want this not to happen at all?
I
honestly feel like it doesn't need to if they're gonna keep doing DC films with Batman in it. Then they can just bring Affleck here and there, but not have him featured in a film.
Like they did in Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They will in Justice League.
Like he shows up for 2 minutes, call it a day.
I think that'll take a lot of pressure off of Ben Affleck. I think it was a lot of pressure for him to take upon himself to direct, write, and star in it.
But I think he thought it was going to be better. I think he thought it was going to do better, maybe.
Yeah, but I just don't know. I think he was having an issue with the script, right? And as much as Jeff Johns would help him out, what I think the problem is that what does all this boil down to? You need a good story, and they're putting the cart before the horse. They're naming a new director already, all this stuff, and I'm like, get a damn script first.
Right.
So what it's reminded me a lot of is when they kept trying to do Indiana Jones 4. Right, because you had Frank Darabont wrote a script. You had M. Night Shyamalan wrote a script. All these famous directors and writers wrote scripts, and they just couldn't get the same. But they kept saying, "Oh, it's in the works. It's in the works." Just drop all the drama with it. You don't necessarily have to put an art cloud every day about this crap. Get a script. Get something done.
Get it going, then go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you. So it looks like they did get a director.
Yes.
Matt Reeves.
Yes.
I don't know what he did before. I should look at this. What did he do before? Matt Reeves, who has done director. His most famous directorial roles are Cloverfield and War of the Planet of the Apes.
Right. Well, he did War of the Planet. He also did Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So he did the first two.
Cool.
He's not doing the recent one, or the newest one, I don't believe.
Right. That's what it says down here. Yep.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with JT that Warner Brothers needs better writers.
That would help.
They need
get the stories down.
Yeah, well, like he said, like JT is saying, they have the best writers at Warner Brothers Animation. Pull them up and use them, or do what Marvel did. They developed their own in-house writing school.
Yeah,
and they're pulling their writers from there.
I mean, pull your talent, get them together, and get them writing.
Yes,
that's what you do. That's how you develop stories.
Absolutely.
A couple people have some good ideas. You work from there and you move on.
Yes.
So we'll see. We'll keep following this development. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest with you. But we also have some Disney news.
Yeah, Disney has finally started production on their Mary Poppins sequel, which is fantastic because I'm a huge fan of Emily Blunt. And she's taking over the role of Mary Poppins. Ben Wishaw's in it as Michael Banks. A lot of people know him as Q, and he's the front runner for the new Doctor. But my favorite part about it is, besides Emily Blunt, is that Lin-Manuel Miranda is in it and he's doing a lot of the music. So it's great that they're starting production.
For sure. Let's get to some Logan news. Okay, I'm going to nutshell this whole thing.
Yes.
First of all, Hugh Jackman not coming back ever again as Wolverine.
Right.
He's confirmed it. I have a link in the show
no
notes.
Wolverine Deadpool, no Wolverine in the X-Men, X Factor, nothing.
He's basically saying I'm done.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, he's getting on 50 now. It's only so much he can stay ripped like that and enjoy it.
Right. Patrick Stewart still up for more X-Men movies.
Which makes sense because they've already talked about how they're going to have Xavier in the New Mutants. That one I believe is going to be McAvoy though. But how great would it be as if they pulled him into Legion?
Yeah, that'd be sweet. One sec.
Because if you haven't watched Legion yet, it's definitely kind of twisted. I enjoyed it. I haven't watched the second episode yet, but I did watch the pilot. But Legion is obviously connected to the Xavier character. So if they decide to follow the comic a little bit more, then they can definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, Patrick Stewart, is he 1,000?
He's pretty up there.
Or is that just me?
But of course, so is Ian McKellen.
No. Both of them are in their late 70s, early 80s.
I think mid to late 70s.
Okay. I love them. Both of them. Patrick Stewart, anything he wants to be in. I'm a huge
absolutely.
Captain Picard fan.
Yeah.
Like, that's my boy right there. I if he's going to do it, I'm going to watch it. And so there's this story in here, and I don't know if we want to even cover this, but there were some mutant cameos that were cut from Logan, and really the idea is that Logan was very dark and not mutant heavy outside of what was going on with them. So it didn't make much sense to be like, hey, here's also this other mutant.
They're trying to go much more real world and much more based around him.
Right. So it makes sense.
Yes.
Let's get a Deadpool. There's some... So there's a link in here that talks about Domino, and there is a breakdown for what that character is going to be.
Right.
And apparently this character is all ethnicities or no ethnicities or something like that. Like I don't know much about this particular character.
Neither do I.
But let me open this up so I don't have to be that guy right now. It says that they're looking for a female, all ethnicities, late 20s, early 30s, sexy, lithe, and athletic. Witty personality. Nina, which is the character's name, has a no-nonsense badass who rarely shows her feelings, highly capable, supremely confident, and armored in, armor. And bulletproof sarcasm. Haha. So anyway, and that continues for a little bit. So really, they just are releasing that, and I don't think they have any actresses in mind necessarily, except for these couples. So it says, casting of Domino. Reportedly, both Sienna Miller. Sienna? I'm going to butcher all these names.
Yeah, Sienna Miller. She was in. She was married to Jude Law for a long time.
Oh, okay.
She got her big break in Factory Girl about Andy Warhol's obsession with Edie Sedgwick.
Mm-hmm.
But she was probably most well known to comic book fans. She was in G.I. Joe as the Baroness.
Nice. So Sienna Miller and Guju Mithra have passed on the role. Actress Kerry Washington, currently starring in the popular nighttime drama Scandal, is testing for the role.
Yeah, she's actually a big front runner, and people are actually doing full fan art right now to see how she would look in it.
Okay. Washington would be on the older age range, as she's 40 years old, while Miller and Mithra are both in their mid-30s. Anyway, they're just testing. They have no idea as of right now.
No, of course not.
Which is fine.
No, which is what you want because they don't have a script yet.
Right. Well, you have to have a script, as we've talked about before. So, X-Men, going to X-Men news, Sophie Turner confirms she has a new X-Men movie filming soon.
Yeah, well, this is what's it called?
This is the Phoenix one we've been talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what the rumor is. But it's big that she confirms it, and the woman who plays Storm has also confirmed.
Yeah, and this is the one that is either Supernova or Dark Phoenix.
Supernova, that's the word I was looking for.
Totally.
And actually, I didn't put this in here, and it doesn't quite fit in with X-Men, but Sophie Turner actually had another interview, and it was connected. It was this interview, but she referenced a little bit later is that she had just wrapped season 7 of Game of Thrones, and she's let it slip that after she does X-Men, she's going to be coming back for season 8 of Game of Thrones. So that's a little spoiler that it looks like Sansa Stark survives season 7.
Thanks. Spoiler alert.
Thanks, Sophie.
Jeez. Anyway, Captain Marvel. Just a couple quick things actually about Captain Marvel. It's going to be filming early next year.
Yes.
And Brie Larson has an article. Well, there's a conversation with Brie Larson talking about the responsibility of playing Marvel's first female lead. We've talked about this enough to where I don't need to dive into that, but it's important because we've talked about why they're waiting so long, what happened to Scarlet Black Widow.
Right.
I said Scarlet. I almost said Scarlet Witch,
yeah.
but I meant Scarlett Johansson playing Black Widow. But yeah, man, this is really interesting to me. Like, I want this to happen sooner rather than later. But
I agree. But you know what actually I find the most interesting about this is we weren't having as many of these questions about Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman.
It's true.
Because and honestly, it's nothing against Gal Gadot because she's fantastic and beautiful and kick-ass.
I'll say.
But it's I think it's the fact that the Wonder Woman character itself, I mean, she's an Amazonian.
Indeed.
I don't want to say mannish, but she's larger. She's literally larger than life, like Andre the Giant, but she's, I mean, not that big, but you know what I mean.
Right.
But it has that certain connotation of she's also been around forever.
Right.
I mean, she's been around since the 40s. And whereas Captain Marvel, she's much more recent. And the way she looks also much more feminine in that sort of thing. And so I think they're kind of, by pandering to it this way, it's almost doing it a disservice.
Yeah. I hear you, man. Infinity War.
Yes.
So it looks like Thanos creator Jim Starlin kind of wants to get in on all the fun.
Why wouldn't he?
Well,
I mean, he's going to be making money from it regardless.
Well, sure, and they talk about how he's made money. Some of his other characters have made good money too.
Right.
But because Infinity War is coming up and Thanos is so prominent, there's some talk that he might get a Stan Lee like.
So it looks like he might get a Stan Lee type cameo, which would be very cool. It just we'll just see how it goes because at this point, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Stan Lee, and I think his contribution to the industry has been incredibly fantastic. But it's almost getting to the point where like his cameos are overshadowing him. And I just hope they. I almost like the way that Star Wars does it, where like we had Rian Johnson in Rogue One, and we're gonna have Gareth Edwards in The Last Jedi, and how Tom Hardy is gonna be in this one, and we had, it's much more below the radar. You know what I mean? I don't need the cameo shoved in my face.
It's a good point, and also, Stan Lee's 94.
Yes, he is.
And
all we need is for him to fall down a stair.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I mean, I get that they want him to do this stuff, but and I want Jim Starlin to get what's coming to him and maybe get into that. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely, give him credit.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the cameo thing, you got to be careful, man. I mean, these guys are getting old.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But I think give him a cameo in Infinity War.
Mm-hmm. I think it deserves it. Why not?
Yeah. Totally makes sense.
I mean, not in every movie going forward, but
no.
Or any mention of Thanos is like, hey, here's my cameo.
Right.
It makes more sense that Stan Lee's in every one of these movies.
Yes.
So Tom Holland is also confirmed for Infinity War.
Yeah, I mean, we'd already known that he was probably going to be in it, but now it's actually confirmed that he's going to be doing his filming and all that stuff.
There's also an official featurette, which I haven't watched yet, which featurettes are usually on the longer side.
Yeah, I think this is like 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think we'll skip it this week and come back to it next week.
Yeah, but it is available through our show notes, so make sure you take a look at that. I'm sure you can also find it on iTunes. There is quite a few. It's getting a lot of buzz. And I say we're going to take a little break here because we're having some technical difficulties with Marshall's mic. One moment. Do you have your plug for it?
The plug is all feedback. I can try it.
Try it and see how it goes.
Let me know if you hear it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, then we just share a mic. All right, it'll be just a moment, guys. So if you've got to pee, go ahead and get up and go pee.
Potty break.
Potty break.
It's only us and JT anyway.
JT says, hashtag Mike for Marshall.
Explain why I need batteries. It's either listen to a whole crap load of feedback or waste batteries. What's these batteries? I have rechargeable ones at work that I should use. Alright, sorry about that, team. What, the fourth time I've replaced batteries in this thing today?
Something like that. All right, and we are back.
By the gods. Technology is great. All right, so do we already talk about the featurette thing? We're done with that?
Yeah, we're done with
that. Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to begin pre-production in Atlanta soon.
Also, I mean, it just makes sense. It's the next thing on the list.
Well, and it's exciting because the only reason I really put this in there because it's a non-story, but I put this in there because I really liked Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was fantastic.
I really enjoyed Ant-Man, and I'm really looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's a lot of people out there saying like, "Oh, it's just mediocre film, whatever." But maybe it's my humor style. Maybe it's
Paul Rudd and Michael Pena makes it.
Anyway, overall, great movie. So I would like to. I'm very excited about that. So Black Widow, she, excuse me, Scarlett Johansson, kind of came out. There's a story. Let me see if I can. I was trying to do it off memory, but she talked to somebody. I don't know who she talked to. But she was trying to. She was basically trying to say why the film hasn't happened yet. And
she was speaking of Total Film about Ghost in the Shell.
Okay, got it. So she's talking about Ghost in the Shell, and she's saying, well, look, if she's going to do a role, she needs to be fully committed to the role, you know? And she needs not have this other stuff in the way. And there has to be a good story and everything else, too.
It all comes down to story.
Yeah, and it's just not there yet. And I like that Marvel is doing this because they're not just going to be like, let's throw something together for Scarlett Johansson so
right, it totally does a disservice to the character.
Exactly. So I think that's important. Let's move on to our last couple things, dude. Inhumans, there is a working title, and we haven't talked about Inhumans in a while.
We talked when they named that guy as the director.
Yeah. So they're calling it Project Next, which is kind of
a little on the nose.
Which is kind of right on it. And you know, that's pretty much it.
Well, what I love about this is the whole way that they're going about Inhumans is that they're doing the 2-hour
Hawaii. Sorry.
Cool. That they're doing the big 2-hour premiere for IMAX, and then it's going to be followed up by the TV series.
Indeed.
I think it's a fantastic way to do it.
All right. So let's get to our last couple of things before we get to our main thing, and then we'll get out of here.
Yes.
I mean, we'll be here 5 more minutes, but convention news. SDCC 2017 registration, we've been talking about the last couple weeks.
Ad hoc.
Still not a thing.
No, but they've said it's
okay. So the link I have in here is a tweet that says They're working really hard at getting things ready for registration. That's it.
That's it.
But
as your next story points out, they also have started releasing the rules and the entry form for the Masquerade, which is
indeed
one of the biggest things every year.
Right.
I'm never going to it.
No,
but it's huge.
If you're into cosplay, that's your thing. And one of the other things I wanted to say too is because they haven't nailed down registration, all the stuff yet. If you are even kind of interested in San Diego Comic-Con right now,
get your member ID.
Get your member ID squared away. Go to the website, sign up, register. It takes like 2 seconds.
It's easy.
Make that happen. The rules, entry form and rules for 2017, the Masquerade, like Will was saying, is already going. Outlander is coming back.
Cool.
Which is always fun.
Yeah.
Out on the in the gas lamp. And then I have a stupid thing in here with the chairs in Hall H. I was talking to Will the other night, and he didn't know because he had never been.
I've never actually been inside Hall H, so I thought it was like movie theater style seating.
No, and Hall H is the biggest room, panel room for San Diego Comic-Con. But you got to remember, this is a convention.
It is.
So it's something that they have to be able to break down and put back together. And so they're folding chairs.
Yeah, and actually, the biggest room that I've been in was the Indigo Ballroom.
And they're folding chairs.
And they're folding chairs. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together with...
So there's a link in here to a tweet of somebody in charge of buying stuff for Hall H. They have more comfortable chairs now.
Yeah,
approved and bought.
Looks like they have some padding.
There's a little padding. Because people, what they do for Hall H is they camp out all night, and then they sit in there all day.
Yeah.
And so if you're sitting in a folding chair, how many times do you think you have to get up before your ass falls asleep
exactly.
or whatever, So I think that's important. Real quick, in merchandise, Mattel is debuting their Wonder Woman toy line. We have a link in the show notes for that, which is badass.
Yep, check those out.
It looks super sick. So let's get to our last thing, dude, that I really want to talk about. We missed last week somehow. Smod news.
Yeah, we normally lately when we've been talking about Kevin Smith, it's been in relation to his work with Berlantiverse.
Yep.
This actually has absolutely nothing to do with that.
Well, he's directed Goldberg's, Flash, and Supergirl recently.
Yes.
So, the main thing right now is if you check the latest episode of Smodcast
and Hollywood Babylon,
he talks about this story of basically, so back a year or two ago, he talked about, I wrote the script for Clerks 3.
Right.
And I'm ready for Mallrats 2.
Which he was going to call Mallbrats.
Right. So he's getting ready for these things. And in the course of these last couple podcasts, he talks about how those things fell apart. And which is sad because, honestly, the Clerks 3 fell apart because one of the 4 main guys decided... And again, listen to the podcast. I don't do it justice, but one of the 4 guys decided he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, which means it's got to be Brian O'Halloran or...
it's one of the 2.
Yeah.
He decided he was going to do it, and then he backed out, and then the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, because if you don't have... You can't recast it.
Right. And so in Mallrats, it just never got picked up.
Yeah, he wrote the treatise for it in the spec script and shopped it around to Amazon and Hulu and Netflix, and just nobody picked it up.
And see, that kind of bummed me out because I would really like to see that as a Netflix.
Well, especially since it's really late teens, early 20s characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially with Supernatural and Riverdale, and you're totally looking at these sort of things in that age range. Right. Why not do it?
So next week I want to talk about Riverdale.
Yes, Riverdale is good if you haven't watched it.
We're giving you guys a heads up. So I have links in the show notes that kind of that segment this. But really what I want to focus on tonight is that the latest episode of Smodcast, he sits down with Jason Mewes and talks about what they will be going forward with. And it's a Jay and Silent Bob sequel, reboot. It's called Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Yeah, it's a sequel, but it's called the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot because the premise of the story, if you remembered the first Jay and Silent Bob movie, they had to get to Hollywood to stop the filming of Blunt Man and Chronic because they didn't want Hollywood people making money off their likenesses.
Right. And so this one is they want to go basically stop a reboot of Jay and Silent Bob with the wrong characters and all this stuff. I mean,
Basically, the Hollywood in this again is doing a reboot of Blunt Man and Chronic.
So it's a satire almost of reboots in Hollywood, which is pretty cool.
And basically, he had been down for the last couple months about these projects falling apart.
Yeah.
So he's written this in less than a month.
Yeah. And he shopped it around. He's had people read it, and from what I understand from Smodcast and Babylon is that but again, the script is solid. And he's excited about it, and he's going forward with it.
Yeah, well, he also says that Miramax is looking at it, that's where he started.
Totally.
Granted, the Weinsteins aren't in charge of it anymore, and Disney doesn't own it anymore, but Miramax is where he got to start.
Well, one of the things, too, he was saying about the other things that fell through and why he's not doing like Chasing Amy. He doesn't own those things.
Not anymore,
He doesn't own Chasing Amy. He doesn't own, what's the other one?
Mallrats.
He doesn't own Clerks. He doesn't own those.
Yeah, he only owns Dogma and Later.
Right. So I think this is the right choice, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun if he can pull it off.
Oh, absolutely. Because, it's like one of those things where when you saw Jay and Silent Bob the first time, you're like, oh my God, this is like crap compared to. But then the more you watch it, you realize how brilliant George Carlin is in it, and how brilliant.
You see Carrie Fisher.
Is, and everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, I still can't get over the whole Good Will Hunting 2 hunting season with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I mean, the whole line is like, so you do the safe movie, and then you do the risky movie. And then sometimes you got to do the movie to pay your buddy back. Right. And then you look at the camera.
It's that fourth wall breaking. It's that kind of stuff that I just love.
Applesauce, bitch.
So, honestly, at the end of our show here, I just want to say I'm excited about that he's going to be making another movie that's in what we know as the View Askew universe.
Yeah, the View Askew universe. And don't forget, he's still going to be doing Moose Jaws.
Sure. And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. I've been thinking about Clerks and I've been thinking about Mallrats, but I'm glad.
Yeah, I want him to go back to the well.
Something.
Yeah.
So, so best of luck, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
We will see you at the next Comic-Con. Right?
Yes, we will. Or as he says, the Comic-Con.
The Comic-Con. So thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Google Play.
What did I say? I said that. Google
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm at Pops on Twitter. Will is at I am Will Griggs. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. Give us a positive rating, like us, share us, and all that. If you want to support the show, give us $1 or $2 an episode. Patreon.com/usualpodcast. You get our blooper reels. You get the show a couple days early. It's definitely a way to help us out and support all our shenanigans.
And don't forget audibletrial.com/usualpodcast. Check out the Aftermath books and see if the recent Snoke rumor could possibly be true.
Indeed. If you want to help us out in a bigger way, if you sign up for audibletrial.com/usualpodcast, we get 15 bones.
Absolutely. And also don't forget to dress up your SWTOR character in your favorite superhero outfit. Take a picture of it, send it to us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag SWTOR Superhero and see if you can win yourself a crate or some subscription time.
You'll probably win some stuff.
Yeah, you will.
Indeed. We are headed into a little quick vacation time, which is kind of nice.
So nice.
Anything you want to say to the peeps?
I just want to make sure that everybody else this week has a fun.
Yeah. Have fun. Do it right.
Do it right.
We'll see you all next week.
Peace.
So stupid. All right.
I love how you say so stupid every time I say
well, it's just my thing, dude. Anyway, thank you to everybody who was in the chat room. We love you. Will's already gone, apparently.
I had to get those headphones off.
He had to get the headphones off, but I'm still here. Hi. Thank you, Jem, for auto-hosting us, even though we're done.
My new glasses, with the headphones, they kind of dig in the side of my head.
Yeah, I'm used to it now. Actually, these are better than the other ones. All right, so we are going to go. We're very tired. Thanks, JT, for being here the whole time, man. You're my hero. Watch Archer. Watch all the things. Come back. Talk to us. We got to get some of you guys on the show next time. That'd be fun. Okay, bye. Well, there's 5 people in there. I think 2 of them are us. This is something, right?
R jar.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's trying to get you in the vlog, dude. It's important. Well, we all need something. Anyway, kids, thank you. We will see you all on the flip side.
On the flippity flop.
In fact, I'll see most of you at WOG tomorrow night. I will be there. Will not. So here we are. That's me talking smack about you, by the way. All right. You turned your camera off too?
Oh, I'm shutting down my computer.
Oh my God, he's shutting down his computer. All right, I'm out. I'm gonna type. I am out. Should I say yo?
Yo MTV Raps.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
I really want to shower.
Stop that. Stop this. Stop.